This is Calcat the Calicatster, and this is a review of Turning Red, the latest Disney Pixar movie, which is, yeah, it's cute. It's a furry movie. Well, there were a couple of right-wing fool critics, idiot critics, who probably are not the target audience, who are complaining about the movie being not right or something. Ooh, it's sinful. It's about puberty. Ooh, yeah. Well, she acts bad in it. Ooh, like rebellious. Oh no. Well, at first she isn't rebellious. At first, the main character is even likes to clean and cook. So I would think the right wing conservatives would like that. I think they would be like, well, that's good. And yeah, and family loyalty. I guess they just don't like that either. It's ridiculous. They probably didn't watch the movie. They probably just watched the trailer. Superficially, it's about puberty, but it really isn't. They don't literally call it that at any point. They use euphemisms for it, such as change or turning red or whatever. They don't really go there. It's about seems to be a cross between Studio Ghibli and Wallace and Gromit in terms of Pete Docter and some other director produced. The guy that was some of the people from the last couple movies. The animation style looks to be similar to that of Luca, yeah, with that sort of pseudo Studio Ghibli, pseudo European and Asian cross. The four characters. There's five of them. The boy band in it. There's always a boy band with eighth graders. There's always a boy band. And the boy band is sort of a One Direction Boys to Men spoof. Boys to Men being an old school boy band, and One Direction, it's slightly newer, but still kind of not far off. Boy bands have been the case for many years, spearheaded with the 50s, actually way back to the 50s. But the most popular boy band of the recent last 60 years was the Beatles, who were one of the first archetypal modern. Everybody's been trying to copy the Beatles since the 60s. Everybody. Everybody. New Kids on the Block was in my generation. They were trying to copy them. Boys to Men, that kind of thing. Yeah. Niece's generation, niece and nephew's generation was New Kid, the One Direction, which I made fun of in 2 song parodies. Yes, yeah, well, Justin Bieber wasn't a boy band, so he didn't count as a boy band. He's just a pop star back in the day. It's weird that the reigning king of pop isn't Bieber, but rather is a light rock pop star guy called Elton John. That's very old now. He's the granddaddy of pop. It's kind of funny that he's still around. Elton John. That's from my generation. Yeah. So anyway, so we have a movie that takes place in Toronto, where they don't just decide, okay, we're gonna say it's New York, but it's Toronto. No, it actually is Toronto. There was a cute scene in which they mentioned one of the boy band members can speak French. Well, in Toronto, I would imagine they could actually, because yeah, part of Canada. But okay, but they probably all do. I don't know, but it's supposed to be 2002 in the story, so it's 2002. So it's a flashback 20 years ago. I don't know if the Canadian Dome they mentioned was actually built yet, but okay, it's a cartoon, it's fine. It's about Ming Mei, like, kind of like Lin Min Mei from Robotech, but Ming Mei, same name, who is a eighth grader, 13, who is spunky, who comes from a sort of bizarre Chinese cult called the Red Panda cult. Similar in a way to the Encanto, also a Disney movie, in which they had a overbearing mother figure. Both stories they did, who controls the group, and there's no villain per se. It's really just the overbearing parent and daughter is the villain. Yeah, so there's no villain really. There were there were unfounded complaints about the movie from alt-right people that hadn't seen it, about gender issues or turning, but it's not about it's not about that at all. There's no you're gonna imply that the pubescent characters in it are gay because they don't act really like that. You blink and you miss it. There's some of that, but it's only suggest. There's no suggestion of anything untoward at all. It's easily PG. There's even G. It's really not PG. It's G. It's not even So there's nothing at all bad about this movie. It's just about this girl that when she gets excited, she does the Turbo Teen thing and turns into something. Turbo Teen was a cartoon series in my generation, where a kid got excited and he would turn into his car. So it's kind of the same thing. So you have except she turns into a red panda. So she's basically an X-Men character, and she becomes she needs to go to the school for the gifted, as I mentioned on the Jesse Gender website commentary on the thing. I said she's an X-Men character. She's an unregistered mutant. She needs to go join Xavier's school in Canada and become part of the X-Men. But but her whole clan is apparently they're all panda ladies. Because a long time ago, the ancestors in a panda house, very Studio Ghibli-like, very much an homage to that type of story. They have an ancestor circle, and the magic actually works. So there's no necessarily the Prince Charming thing at all. It's very non Disney. That's Pixar. There is a scene where she does get there's a convenience store worker, like an AM/PM or something, and the girls are all infatuated with him, and the girl starts drawing kind of suggestive pictures of him. Ooh, maybe that's what set off the conservative. And that gets her in trouble because the mother is overbearing and thinks that the pictures represent something real, goes and yells at the convenience store kid who doesn't even know who she is. So it's like, and the pictures end up all over school because they're, it's all the same school apparently. So the junior high and the high school are together, like Pine Hill. I went to a school where the junior high and the high school were together. That could be problematic, so to speak. There was also a primary grade side which didn't have much contact with it. So it was, but in this case, he's 17 in the story. They're all goofy looking cartoon characters. So like in Luca and this one, it's like, okay, in Luca there's already slash of Luca, and that's gross because he's like 12 or 11. This one it would be gross too because she's 13. It's still gross. Don't look for that. It's probably out there. Anyway, so you have there's nothing. I can't imagine what they thought was untoward in this movie. It's cartoon. There's nothing even. I mean, if you were looking for it, I suppose the one sort of tomboy girl could be a lesbian, but it doesn't say that explicitly. And the Indian Priya lady, she's emo or something. Yeah, but it's like there's nothing really. Nothing like that. Is the monster symbolic for Beauty and the Beast, or is the monster symbolic for puberty, or the puberty monster? Is it symbolic for pedo bear? No, no. Yeah, but it would make more sense if these characters eventually did become son of an item, because then they would be similar to the ancestors. Because the grandmother shows up to put everything in line, and the grandmother, her posse is her friends are sort of other panda ladies, and they obviously make the parallel that the other panda lady posse with the grandmother are just 2 generations removed from the girl and her friends. So yeah. Interesting dynamic going on there. There's in jokes in there, like the Asian kid who has to get the straight A's, which is not an offensive in joke. That actually is a thing in a lot of that culture, Korea and China, and mainly China. They have a thing about being studious, and if you're not studious enough, you get in trouble. You have to get an A. I remember one time there was an English class that I had at San Jose State, and this girl, San Jose State years ago, and this girl was upset that was going to get an A minus. She wasn't getting an A minus in the class. She wasn't sure she was going to. She was begging the teacher that she goes home without an A plus. The parents will yell at her. I said, oh, don't worry about it. I'd be lucky to get an A in this class, or even a B. The teacher laughed. I'm not gonna be. I don't know. The class is hard. It's just What did I get in that class? I think I did get a B minus in that class. I didn't get a very good grade in that class. But yeah. Ooh. It's not like it was. Yeah. It's coded, but it's not. And the hyper-conservative alt-Christian right, who are nuts anyway, they're upset that it's coded, that there's elements of it that seem like they're having a message. Ooh, but not really. She turns into a giant red panda bear and tries to get attention and get popular so that she can go to the Four Tet concert. Or Four Men concert, or whatever it is. And it's like, that's not... Yeah, that's what a preteen a teenager would do. That's what they would do. It's clearly meant for girls, and possibly their mothers. It's not meant for. I'm not the target audience. A dude is not the 50-year-old dude is not the target audience. But I enjoyed it. It was fine. It should be in theaters. I agree with the Pixar people and some of the Pixar people I knew of. They're like, why isn't this in theaters? Yeah. So, yeah, I know it's like, yeah, why not put it in theaters? Probably sell more tickets to it. It's not like it actually has One Direction in it. It's some group imitating them. This is fine. I mean, if it was actually them, that would be actually dated. It'd have to be somebody current. And that is a little odd, but yeah, sure, why not? Song is very poppy. It isn't the kind of movie where you get the Pixar sad violins thing going on. It's not that kind of movie. Which is a nice escape from that kind of movie. It's cute. It's cute. Like Luca was cute. That didn't have anything sad. So the dynamic is that all the generations of the women were all panda creatures, X-Men, mutants, because the panda god would protect them. The red panda god would protect them and make them little kung fu panda going on there, and make them powerful, make them powerful, and sure, red panda, yeah, and they're yeah, there's nothing wrong with this movie. I don't know. Ooh, well, if they were butthurt about Frozen, I suppose they're butthurt about this too. Well, for the same reason, because they're unruly. Ooh, like no one's ever been unruly as a teenager. Come on, a boy-girl party at one point. You know, when she goes all ape shit and turns into a bear thing and knocks over the party host guy. Truthfully kills him. But yeah, so there's a, yeah, they try to earn money, but not surreptitiously, so they can go to the concert. The giant mother bear attacks the thing. It's a reminiscent of Brave in some ways, which was also a Pixar. And it does fit in the Pixar universe. I'm sure somebody has already mentioned this in Pixar Theory and in Carlian Brothers, but it absolutely fits it right in the Pixar Theory. In that, if there are a group of people that can turn into furry creatures and monsters, there's more of them, and there's likely other creatures that they can turn into, other groups, and they eventually evolve into the characters from Monsters, Inc. So the panda people are just, they would evolve into the characters from Monsters, Inc. And that's why that's a connection to people in the past, is that they're absolutely, it's right there. So they're, I'm not saying the panda people are necessarily from it, but they're in that same kind of idea. They can morph into these creatures and become them in this other realm. So it's like they can become the monsters in Monsters, Inc. But Monsters, Inc. is also Are Real Monsters from Nickelodeon, which they blatantly ripped off. Absolutely. When they did Monsters, Inc., they ripped it off. The frog lady, really Sully, and the snake and the other guys. Yeah, they ripped it off. All of them, pretty much. Even the girl. It is somebody else, Kitty, But yeah, so yeah, it fits right in because it's there. That's what it would be. It would be sort of the Monsters Inc. characters would evolve from people like this, these spirits with the transformation powers that can turn them into monsters when they get excited. That's where that comes from, and they can control their powers. They can and do stuff. Totally works with the Pixar theory. Yeah. As I said before, I'll say it again. It started with Toy Story and Andy's dad. Trying to figure out who Andy's dad was. They got it wrong, and it wasn't what they thought. Although Lasseter and the other guys back in the day, long before Lasseter got in trouble, said, yeah, this is what actually happened, and it's not what you think. And since then, yeah, they have confirmed that indeed that is what happened. But he might have been a little bit being goofy when he said it. So basically, yeah, the single dad story. There's always at least in this story we have, yeah. So basically, they half joked, but half were telling the reality that Andy's dad from Toy Story died of a pneumonia or possibly HIV, and that's why he wasn't around anymore. That's kind of messed up because it was the early 90s. So yeah, take what you will from that. It would explain the dynamic between Woody and Buzz being very, very coded and all that other stuff. Andy as a kid didn't know how to process any of that stuff. So he processed it as, oh, they have a friendship and they try to betray each other and leave. But they sing the Friend and Me song in the end, so everything's okay. So yeah. I think that movie was actually more coded than this one. But yes. Very much Toy Story. But yeah, in this one, they don't really, that doesn't happen. The parents are a effective unit. The mother and the father are in it. Usually Disney movies, one of the parents is gone. So this one, they're together. And, the Red, Turning Red. Yeah.